For those on the call, welcome. We're going to give it just a few more seconds for others to join, and we'll get started. All right, it's 12:01. We'll go ahead and get this started. Welcome to everybody, Deacon Nation, Field Hockey family. So glad that everybody took some time out to join us today and have a program update and conversation with head coach Jen Averill of the Field Hockey team. Couple of quick things. Everyone on the call that has joined is muted, but we have had questions submitted ahead of time, which is great. I'll get to some of those. My name is Alan Ashworth with the Deacon Club staff. Been here about 10 years now and work very closely with the field hockey program, and very excited for today's conversation. And I will introduce our head coach that everybody knows, Jen Averill. Thank you for being on the call.
Awesome. Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it. Appreciate you moderating this.
Absolutely. I will do my best. So again, welcome everybody. I know that we did this program update like this back in May, and things were a little different, and it's just exciting I know you got to be thrilled, Coach, of where we're at right now, to be at this point. The season's underway. How does that feel right now?
No question about it. I think that there are several things that come into mind, really compliment the squad for having a sense of adaptability and also solution-oriented. But equally impressive is, Wake Forest. I was super impatient with Wake during the summer months. And it's like, okay, what's the plan look like? We need concrete things. We need some things in place so that we have some functionality and we know what we're getting into. And they definitely played that poker hand well. Watched a lot of teams around us blow up. And we learned a lot by people starting school earlier than they had originally planned. And just can't thank Wake Forest enough for putting us in this position. And they told us, we're gonna get you there, but then you got to keep yourself safe. And that's just kind of been the mantra ever since. But super proud of where we are. And more importantly, just incredibly proud of the girls for being able to monitor themselves and in a really uncharacteristic fashion, but they're doing a great job. And for those that didn't know already, we were the only team competing. Division I, Division II, Division III. We were the only hockey team with Carolina competing this past weekend. So we thought we were on Monday Night Football. I mean, it was pretty cool. No lie. We were the show in town. And the cool thing is everybody in the country was watching us. So a huge shout out for the Wake Nation, and again, just can't thank the people enough for putting us in the position.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that first UNC game in a little bit, but to your point, I was out there actually on Sunday, and it was so cool to see some of our parents able to be in the stands. I think the first sport on campus to have parents allowed on campus to watch, that was fantastic and really exciting. And just to be at this point, you touched on a little bit, but just, we do these program updates usually before the season starts, and we'll get to the UNC game. But can you a little more in depth about just some of the precautions and procedures that were put into place, and what you guys have sort of been dealing with and going through the summer since our last update and early this fall, just leading up to that first game? Some of the things the girls are having to do and how they're being disciplined and got to this point.
Sure. Practice now takes an hour to prepare for. Okay. Just with getting individuals. Our typical day starts as a staff is we can be here as early as 6:45 for an 8 o'clock practice. And Gonzo and Jackie 6:30. So they're rolling in real early. We're being COVID tested 2 to 3 times a week. We have to be tested 72 hours prior to any competition. But let me back you up a little bit. Preseason was extremely unique. And having said that, I think we learned a lot about ourselves and a lot about what we can do moving forward. There's a lot of pros that went into unfolding a preseason like this. In other words, we didn't have our entire squad till August 26th. And we had 5 that arrived on August 5th. And so on August 5th, they came in and those 7, 8 kids had to quarantine. So we were literally training, the 3 of us were training with 8 people. Then we would have a couple more kids show up and they would be COVID tested and they were isolated for like 24, 48 hours. What was it? I can't even remember. 48. It seemed like 3 years ago. 48 hours. And then they had to discipline themselves and they had to train on the opposite side of the field. They couldn't be with the rest of the team. So we kind of meticulously went through the month of August like that. We would get 1 player, then we get 2 more players, then we get 4 more players. Our internationals were quarantined for 2 weeks in a hotel, off campus. That proved to be challenging because as much as this is, a hockey training and getting their cardiovascular, their strength and conditioning back, it's a mental wellness thing. And that sent the staff like sideways. We couldn't be with them. At first we were allowed to give them food, and then all of a sudden the food was shut down because the food could be traced to COVID and they couldn't order, like Uber and Diner Dash or whatever all those things apps are. But it was just like crazy and there was just obstacles everywhere. But what a great introduction to how the fall would then begin to play out. And the other thing is, coaches, we put so much on like them doing what they can do over the summertime and taking care of what they can take care of. And we have yet to really physically test them. We haven't done anything in the weight room to max them out. We haven't done anything as far as a fitness testing to max them out. We're literally just playing them into shape. And it's you don't get the luxury of this time in preseasons before. So having a 3.5 week preseason definitely helped us incredibly because, yeah, we're keeping kids healthy. But the protocol that's in place, they have temperature check, they have COVID testing, they have to wear a bracelet. They cannot be allowed into any athletic facility without being admitted. So while their IDs work to get in, they're not allowed to use that. So a coach and or a trainer always has to admit them. For a long time, we were in the locker room, only 10 at a time. So our team film sessions and meetings have to be in bigger spaces like all of you educators are finding out. And it's been rather, just difficult. But, there are solutions. And that's what I want to compliment my staff with, just really navigating and finding a way of being able to make sure that, we're doing our due diligence hockey-wise, but from a wellness, from a performance, from everything, just checking in with the kids and making sure that, whatever it is that we're doing it to our best capacity. And, we've had player meetings with all but 2 of our kids, and the ending question is, what are we doing well? What do we need to do more of? And what do we need to do less of? And it's just great feedback and great reflection. For us to hear how they're feeling, where they are individually. We know that with this group, they're not great at speaking publicly in front of 22 people, but if you pull them apart and get them in smaller groups and or individual, then they have a lot more freedom and they open up and they really are transparent. So it's a great group to be working with.
Good. Well, as you mentioned, I mean, the health and safety of our student athletes is priority number 1. And myself personally, and I know folks I've talked to in the community, alums, parents, they're just so proud of this university as a whole for what we're doing to stay committed, disciplined, and stay on campus and get back to the things we love and competing in our sports and learning in the classroom. It's a lot to be proud of. I hear you chatting with your the assistants in the background. Are they able to poke their heads in to say hello?
They are, and I thank you, Alan, for that lead in. I really think it's important that this group be able to see I'm only as good as them, and they add such value to my personal life, my professional life, but they are the heart and soul of this program and why we're flourishing right now and why we're doing so well. So I would like to please first introduce Melissa Gonzalez so she can give you guys a few words. I'll give her the throne.
Oh, the throne. Thank you for so generously passing me off. Hello, everyone. I'm keeping my mask on just because, COVID-19.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Well, how's it going, Coach?
Oh, wow. What an open-ended question. I think it's going great. I mean, I had the opportunity to listen to Jen speak, which I think is one of her best attributes. But honestly, I think the girls have been above and beyond doing, acting, behaving, just excelling in every capacity that we could ask for and dream of. And I think that's really great to see. A lot of girls have bought into the process, and that's where we've really focused. Adaptability. So we use sport as a vehicle, and it's just a microcosm of life. And it's really been, as an observer, great to see them kind of be adaptable, not just on the pitch, but off of the pitch, again, with their actions and behaviors. As a group, buying in, spending time with each other, growing our culture, 22 strong. And then on the pitch, getting a little uncomfortable, starting to try new things, failing a little bit, but being in an environment where they can do that, which is accelerating our ability to play quickly. So if you watch the game on Sunday, I think that was something that was notable. The press, really great. They're asking questions, a lot of feedback. They're doing individual work. So it's not just practice, but it's that work outside that they've really committed to.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for the alums and other folks and parents on the call, can you give a quick background of how you got to Wake and
I'm headed into my third glorious season with Wake. So I was the captain of the U.S. squad. I was voted in when Cranny, an alum, Wake Forest, great. U.S. field hockey, great. Decided to retire. She just got married this weekend. Shout out to Cranny if she's listening. Congratulations. So I was voted as captain from the squad. I played for 8 years with Team USA. After the World Cup, I decided to retire, and I made the transition to Wake, and I have loved it ever since. That's the short edited version of my playing career and transition.
That's perfect.
Yes, thank you.
Now, is Jackie here as well?
She is, and I will also hand over the Iron Throne.
Thank you.
Hey, Jackie, how are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Well, please introduce yourself and tell everybody about your background here now with Wakefield Hockey.
Well, thank you for having me. My name is Jackie Briggs, and I actually played at UNC right down the street from 2006 to 2010. So we have a long, extensive record of playing at Kentner Stadium. Played here a lot, and so very familiar with the program and with Jen specifically, and how things are kind of done here. And then I went on to play for the national team for 9 years alongside Melissa Gonzalez. And then when I retired, we retired at the same time. My husband and I moved back down here. He's also a Carolina grad. So we really wanted to be back in that Chapel Hill area. So we moved down there, and I volunteered the last 2 seasons at UNC. And then in January, I got a call out of the blue from Jen and Gonzo, and they asked if I would like to join the staff. And so it took me a whole 2 seconds to decide that was a really good move for me, and I've just been really excited. I was here for about a week and a half before campus shut down, and so yes, we've been in COVID, but again, there's a solution for everything, just how you frame your mind. So yeah, it's been great working with everyone virtually, and now finally we're together and back on the field.
Well, we appreciate everything you're doing, and we're glad you're wearing the black and gold now. So,
hey, black, you can't go wrong with black, right?
Right. So,
well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Turn it back over to Jen.
Well, Jen, as we're talking about your staff, you have a new volunteer this year of a name that most people probably know. Very exciting.
Yes, Megan Anderson. Megan is in graduate work here, so she's doing the master's in management. And we had a conversation over the course of the summertime. Delicate around Caitlin Roof, giving her a big shout out because Caitlin had given us her services while trying to hold down 3 other jobs, and just did a fantastic job for us. And Jackie being a goalkeeper as well, I was like, okay, where can we get the biggest bang for our buck here? Let's get another field coach to help Gonzo and I out. And so we made that transition. And, you know, the really cool thing about having an alum come back is obviously she understands the style that we're trying to play. She understands the philosophy. She understands the buy-in. But then to be removed by 2 years and have the perspective of like, okay, what do I wish I knew then that I know now, and how do I then present that to the girls? And I think that that's what Jackie, Gonzo, and I really appreciate from Meigs is she's excellent with delivering material. I mean, when she was a captain for us here at Wake, she just had such an eloquent job of really empowering women around her. And so it's tremendous to have her addition with us as well.
Absolutely. So, well, we touched on, the season starting this past Sunday against UNC, and would love to sort of get into the meat and potatoes of this program update. Would love to just hear your take on that game. And then after that, maybe sort of going into this year's team and roster and the leadership you see, the new freshmen, everything about the team that you'd love to share. So. Sure.
So at the conclusion of every season, you kind of do some reflection, and Gonzo and I, after the 2019 season, we took a look at 3 areas that we really wanted to improve upon and were much needed. But you say that, and you also have to be patient. There's a process involved in elevating these 3 areas. And so the first one was we need more productivity in our final third. And that was evident again in our Carolina game. But here's the cool thing. If you're a stats person, you can appreciate the fact that Carolina was in our defensive 25 37 times. We were in their defensive 25 34 times. So, there's a couple of numbers there, the difference of 3. And what we need to do is just be more intentional inside the circle. And as Gonzo alluded to a little bit earlier, taking some higher risks. That end zone, there should be like a green light that flashes in your head and everybody's saying the same thing. Rip it, let it fly. And they're going to have to run 90 yards, 80 yards, in the process to try and counter against us. But that's where we want some high risks. And hence that's why you see somebody like, an Irish and Eleanor up front for us this year. Kid has the quickest hands. Like, she's just super dynamic. And we'll get into the roster, like you said, a little bit later on. But so she's got a punch to herself for sure. And you'll start to see more and more productivity come from our final third. The other area that Gonzo and Jackie talked about was just, the cultural piece. Like you're not in and out of a season. You're in season the whole time, as far as we're concerned. And so how can we be conditioned and physically and with our aerobic capacity, with our flexibility, with all of those things? That was a time in COVID where we knew when these kids came back, who was disciplined, who was going to take care of what they could take care of, knowing that they had to move their needle north from where we were last year. And Alan, every single kid came in with that intention. And I mean, we were just like, okay, too bad we can't start playing at the end of August. Like we're ready to roll. And, as a coach, you don't need to test when kids have that sort of discipline. So you're going to see a faster, a more fit squad, no question about it. My staff reminds me and the team every single day, we're the most threatening team in America. And we legitimately are. We can attack from the back, we can attack through the mids, and we certainly have a punch up front. So, that's our theme going into it. And then the final piece, which I think the coaching staff would echo as well, is our ability to have a sustained press Defensively, really working as a unit, and that requires so many different layers. And on Sunday, our phones were blowing up because we were the only show in town. We were the only team in the United States playing, right? So college, that is. And so people were just blowing our phones up like, oh my gosh, you're press, you're double down, just like everything. It was like, that was phenomenal. First game of the season. And we knew it, but we just, it's like, just keep it going. Don't send any negative, karma going through. But I think what you get is when the kids really buy into that defensive style of press, then they know that their front foot mentality of attacking is there. Like they can be proactive with their defense and win the ball back. And it sends a message of belief behind them. Like we, not just me, we can beat this team. And the coaches had a couple of sideline chats with people as they were coming off at halftime. And our kids were ticked off that we were behind. They're like, we could beat this team. And there have been that messaging going on in years past, but not an overall theme of people being like, yeah, we're back. So we lost the game, but we're in it for the marathon. And just really couldn't have been more pleased. It's hard because we're all super competitive and we want the results, but we really truly believe that the results are going to take care of themselves as long as we just keep pumping away during this process and hammering some things out. If that's our starting point and we can grow from there, we're going to be a really good threatening defensive unit, which has been lacking in the past, but yeah, the most threatening team in America.
I love it.
Merca.
Huh?
Merca.
Well, yeah, if you want to spend some time, I know the folks on the call would love to just sort of hear a little bit about this year's roster. You got 8 new freshmen on the team, and and so I know they'd love to hear sort of the dynamics of this team and your thoughts on what's ahead. So
yeah, we're multiplying, and all I have to say is just a huge shout out to all of you that just have always believed in Wake Forest hockey, because Wake Forest hockey is in a fantastic position right now. And I'm saying that intentionally before I introduce the freshmen, because every single one of these kids we couldn't be more proud of. Like it is really difficult today to coach with all of these just things going on to try and detract from what it is that we're trying to do. And but I'm telling you that these 22 kids, like, what a great time to be a coach. And the freshman class have just added such huge cultural, technical, and tactical value to this squad. We've got 2 keepers right now that are so different, but so unique and so play such a key role, I think, in our entire team. They've both come in like sponges and just super jacked up to have Jackie like, hello, you got one of the world's best goalkeepers and goalie coaches in the world at your disposal. And they've been like ultimate sponges, like, teach me more, teach me more, teach me more, to the point where they're probably like, information overload. But they have like, if you were to take what they were doing at the very beginning of the first day of like training and stuff like that to where they are right now, and the communication, like, hands down, it'll get better. But you hear Allie Butler bark in the back of the cage, I was like, dang, she sounds like, a fifth-year senior barking out orders. And Tori is just super methodical about her intentions and setting things up. And she knows if she doesn't make saves, then she's doing a good job. That means she's organizing the defense. Mm-hmm. So those 2 are just awesome. Meredith Medvitz, we feel really good about the fact that Kat up at Notre Dame produces some pretty, quality hockey players. And Mare coming in, she was a teammate of Nat's. Her skill set is fantastic for a freshman. She really, possesses the ball well. She's learning and adapting quickly to the speed of the play. But whether she plays in the backfield or the midfield for us, you're going to see her bounce around in different areas. But just super pleased with her enthusiasm, again, her attitude and willingness, her open-mindedness to learn, without a doubt, is really super contagious. Lily Lancaster, you're gonna like. I love it because it's not the size of the dog, okay, but this kid just like stands like she's 6 feet tall, and she plays like that. And the best thing about it is she plays with sort of like this attitude where it's very unassuming. You think that she would be like, and she has no problem telling people, like asking questions and being bold on the field. But more importantly, if she's playing in the back for us, all of a sudden she breaks through and then rips a backhand at the top of the circle and buries it. And you're just like, hey, maybe we should play her up front. But just super excited about her learning capacity, and whether she doesn't care where she plays. You're going to see some minutes from her this weekend and getting her feet wet. And I think, that, and all of them will. I think you're going to see some really great strides from her throughout the growth of this freshman year. I don't know where to put Hannah Maxwell. It's like she's sort of a sophomore, but not really. She had the funkiest gray shirt out of anybody. She comes in January and she's out of here by March. But the great thing is she knew going into COVID, like what was going to be expected of her. And she's really fun and entertaining to watch. She electrifies. I think she stimulates that front line of like, hey, yeah, we're going, and I'm going to come with a lot of heat. And so I need everybody to follow me when I do go. And she's just really fun. She's just such a ball of energy on and off the field. Like the kid she's just fun to be around. I mean, they all are. And she adds a definite spark to our squad. And you're going to see her getting down dirty. She's going to replicate Kelsey Gill up there. She'll take one to the post. She'll get drilled in the foot by people trying to get through her, and she doesn't care. She's just, all right, play on. So tough as nails, that kid is. Grace Delmont, 2 years ago, when I had the great privilege of seeing her play in Canada, I was like, wow, like my jaw was like down here on the bleachers. I was like, we have a year and a half before we get her. Again, you're going to see her rotating through the midfield and the strike line. The midfield is a really demanding position. You got to have eyes like 360. And so she's going to creep up on the front line, because she can bury the ball. She scored 2 goals in a preseason scrimmage against ourselves. And she scored 2 goals within 30 seconds of each, so we know she can put the ball in the back of the cage. Whether she can do that from a midfield position, if she's getting those breaks and getting that open space, then we'll keep her at midfield. She may see her in screen for a little bit, depending upon how she grows and adapts. And you may see her playing up top in the wing position as well. So super versatile and has like an engine on her, like Lisha. So it's really cool. Then you have Leanne Gordon. Yay, can we give it up to Louisville? Like, hello, sorry, Cards. We're stealing all of your kids. And Leanne, she's just, every single week you see that kid getting tougher and tougher and tougher. And her adaptability of just really owning the physicality of being a backfield defender, because CACC, these kids will roll right over you. And so I think what we're learning from her is the sooner she sends the message of, yeah, no, I'm a wall. You're not going through me. You got to go around me. But has great distribution, and you're going to see her more in a distributing role as long as she continues to matriculate at the rate that she is, of picking and choosing when she uses the short game and when she uses the long game. But just, we know who we recruited, and we know that kid is just going to be a great future player for us when Onski and her big ball leaves us. So it's going to be great for her. You have Emmy Gilgrass, who's my English player, who has yet to really take the field. She was with us for about 3 days, and she's nursing a couple of injuries, and she's back with us this week. And we'll probably be a little bit more cautious. You can't ask that kid to go on the pitch and then just take it easy. She's going to go at 180 miles an hour and give 120% every single time. So that would be reckless on our part to put her in that position. But at the same time, we got to continue to feed her psyche. We got to make sure that, we're giving her doses where she understands that she does have a really instrumental role. And we're kind of like feeding that ego, because once she gets into the game, she can play a high screen, she can play center striker, and that kid can bury the ball. She gets the game. She's super smart. Her tactical awareness of our game is spot on, and she's just chomping at the bits. But we do have a bye week coming up after this week, so it may be 2 weeks to really nurse her. Her cardio's been shut down, so we don't want to be reckless with her, because she is a big future player as well. We have, and then Allie Butler, talking about our GK. She came in, and my biggest thing with Jackie was like, Jackie, tactically, she's going to have a lot to learn and grow from. So how does she really build those relationships with her backfield so that her maybe tactical unawareness isn't exposed? And then Jackie's just really repping out and seeing where her strengths can be highlighted. Neither one of our kids were doing some things on defensive corners. They'd never been taught these types of techniques. So for them to go into the game and it's like, hey, by the way, you're going to defend the best striker in the country and one of the most dynamic attacks in the country, and hey, have fun. But again, we made the decision early off to split both of them, and let's see where they are. Mm-hmm. And both of them made us proud, for sure. We've got 5 in that 5 or 6. We have 6. No, we have 5 in our sophomore class. Mm-hmm. 5 in our sophomore class. Kennedy, wow. Like, a huge shout out to Kennedy. Kennedy came to us in the springtime. She worked out with Megan in the fall when we played last fall. And Megs was like, just keep working. And then once you have the opportunity to try out, go for it. And Gonzo and I took, 2-3 days, Gonzo, of her working out with the team. And then we had a little pre-celebratory announcement where she came up to the office and we issued all this gear to her. And we're like, boom, you earned it. And FYI, Wake Forest fans, we have a motto going on. You earn it. It is the jersey. You earn the opportunity to put that jersey on for every weekend. And that's what it's going to take on a week-to-week basis. You earn it. The second piece is respect it. What is it? It is the process. So you have to be patient with us, patient with yourself, and respect the process. Okay? You may not be there yet, and yet being the operative word. And so I'm bringing that up. And then the last word is compete. And you heard that on the Twitter. I wasn't wearing a mask, so I probably got lit up for that. But I bring that up because I think that Kennedy is that type of kid who's like, boom, week to week, she's earning it. She respects the process. She's in it for the long haul. And that kid competes to every ounce that she has. And just always just a really smart player. Just see it, give it. And that's what she does. And we're going to teach her, to unload a little bit more inside the circle. And when she does, then she'll be even more of a threat. It's really cool to see Micah and Nat. Those are 2 sophomores, and they're pretty much our quarterbacks right now, right? Playing in those 2 screens, and just crushing it and having a great time. They're having a great relationship with one another, communicating, failing, taking some risks, organizing. But again, a lot of transparency between the 2 of them and great functionality, without a doubt. Then I talked about Hannah. You can't really include her in that. You got Maggie Dickman, who, again, played, up on our strike line, and Maggie is super smart. Maggie does more individual training sessions than probably anybody on our squad, just as that ultimate learner. Teach me. I want more. I'm never satisfied. I just want more. Give me more. Give me more. As a matter of fact, the coaching staff and I, sometimes we're like, we got to give her less. Like, that kid's just going to burn out. And she's like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. So what a great position for us to be in, to have to tell kids to scale back.
Yeah.
Hello. And then Maddie Bakuska is nursing another kind of like long injury that she had nagging from last year. Doc did some cleanup on her, and hopefully she's going to be in a much better place in about a month's time. But in all fairness, she's probably going to medical redshirt for this year. So as much as we'll involve her as much as possible and as much as the doctors and the trainers allow us to do. But, she's in a healing process. And as we told her, hey, what a great year to get the surgery and get some healing going. Yeah. So if ever there was a year, this is the year to do something like that. Can I get a shout out to my junior class? Because right now I think they're, yep, that's right. And then we have, you know what, in the back of my mind, Gail is a junior, because that kid is you hear her in the hallway, you hear her on the field, and she just acts with this aura of like, I am here, I'm in charge, and I'm large in charge. I think one of the best attributes about Gail is her, to see where she came from in the freshman year to where she is now. She's really, I think during COVID, probably developed the confidence to rip a shot, and she likes the backhand, but equally she's starting to get, some more fluidity and some strength. But I think one of the most impressive things too is just she's fast. Like that, when I talk about a Gail, Sambrook, Grace Delmont, Elisha, all these kids, like, we are quick. And then you have somebody like Laya and Gail or Kennedy, and all of these, every single one of our kids is unbelievably quick. So as much as I want to put Gail in that junior class, she has to stay with the sophomores for right now. With the juniors, with my junior class, I couldn't be more proud of that group. They are the glue. Like, they're bringing the little ones up, and then they're attaching themselves to the seniors and learning what's functional and where they can help and where they can chime in and how they can really lead this team. And they are incredibly tight, and they've undergone just great self-discovery, no question about it. Gonzo, Jackie, and I are super impressed with Olivia's she's a hockey player. Like, she loves hockey. When she's not playing it, she's watching it. And she's very calming. She's a calming agent, like Toei was on the field for us. So when she speaks and she delivers a message, it's with a calming notion, and kids being able to relate to it. She doesn't get them jacked up. She's very concise and she's very direct. And her distribution, her ability to really smack the ball around with some speed and some relish has come a long ways from last year to this year. So you're going to see her at the point, and you're going to see her on the outside as well. Abby Carpenter played our screen last year, and she'll be rotating into the screens because we have to. We got to give those guys some rest. But I think what we noticed by playing Lisha and Nat in our backfield last year is we need somebody with a punch. And Abby wants to go. She wants to attack. And so if you put her back, it forces her to attack. And she's going to be that overlapping halfback that we have. And it's just fantastic to see her really generating some attack and numbers up situation and wanting to roll forward. Having said that, we tire her out rather quickly. But so you're going to see her in the midfield as a screen, as a right mid, and also as a right half. But she just shows her versatility on how she can play those so many different positions. And then Irish, we know she can play a halfback for us. If we need somebody who wants to possess the ball in pockets, then we can throw her there. But honestly, Irish is a scorer. She's a shooter. And I apologize. Eleanor Weinitz is who I'm referring to. She's a true blue shooter. What's most impressive about her is she was, I would say, so much a part of our success in the press, understanding when to come back, fold in, and play on one of the defensive screens, and also how to attack. Her doubling down in that right-hand corner against Carolina, and she and Grayson pulling the trigger right away. The ball came out, spit back out to Nat, and Nat buried it. If Irish doesn't take that shot, Nat doesn't get the goal. It's that simple. So we're going to play her a lot of big minutes up top, and she's shown her productivity with that. Laya, I mean, there's a reason. Has the article come out yet in the Gold Rush, Zorro? I'm not sure if it has, but Laya is just, she's
Uh-oh. Might have lost Jen for a minute. Let me shoot her a message. And by the way, for everybody on the call, I should have done this earlier. The picture you see there of Annie Malecki is actually on our Deacon Club staff, development assistant, helping with fan engagement and our events and stewardship. So that's the other picture you see on the screen, just FYI for everyone. Hopefully we can get Jen back here in a minute. I don't know if her internet went out. There she is.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, solution, computer, dead.
Got to adapt, right?
Dead, slow death. I was talking about Laya, not to be confused with Zorro, but you know, if you like to go to concerts, the difference between, there's a rock concert and then there's a symphony. Laya's a symphony. That's all you need to know. She's just unbelievable. She is my symphony. And then Gronk is Grace Sambrook, and Grace is just hello. Like, we say to Grace all the time, Grace, we need to put a mirror up when you play because you are so talented. Like, nobody in this conference can stop you. You are that talented. And I think she just plays with us sometimes, like, ha, ha, ha. We're like, no, really, you're that good. And you're going to see a lot of productivity. She can play big minutes for us. And so we're going to run her like a gazelle as much as possible. And she'll probably have a lot of assists for us this year. And hopefully she'll get in and start pulling the trigger more often and get some goals, because she can light people up. No question about it. My 3 seniors were voted captain by the team. Pretty consistent across the board as far as the number of votes that they received. And as a coach, that's what you want. You want your veteran players. You want your performance leaders. You want those guiding. Nobody's perfect, without a doubt, but these 3, I think that they are so incredibly seasoned. They're great students. They each have their own characteristic, their own way of leading this team. And that's what I love about all 3 of them. You know, Anna is the performance driver, no question about it. Then you have Leish, who is just the ultimate, you know, like, my God, she's the performance driver. She's the mother. She's the, you know, like, great teammate, and just everything. She's trying to patchwork everything. And then you have Grippo, who's just, Grippo to me is the ultimate of, like, both of them. She's the yin and the yang of both of them. And that kid has grown up so much in the past 4 years. And she's got a great head on her shoulders. She knows what she wants. She's unbelievably dedicated and loyal to this program. And couldn't say enough. Putting her in the backfield, like, I just want to shoot myself. Why didn't I make that move earlier? And a shout out to my staff for giving me the vote of confidence and kind of pushing me in that direction. Go ahead, put her back there. And when teams try to press us and they try and defend, you know, Onski's long ball, whatever. Grippo just throws it, you know, 30 yards up and over them. But her ball speed, you see her tenacity, right? Like, she's getting it done. And all 3 of them are. Like, all 3 of them this past Sunday, I thought, were unbelievable leaders on the field. No question about it.
Yeah. Coach, thank you for giving us a glimpse of the roster and the dynamics of the team there. And I know everybody's excited about this team and future of Wakefield hockey. So obviously, this is probably the weirdest schedule you've ever had during your time as a head coach. And so we had a question submitted. I wanted to read it to you because I thought it was a great question. And it says, how do you build up the intensity of competition and at the same time allow for adjustments and learning from mistakes when the season is very condensed and having to play only strong ACC opponents from the start?
I think the emphasis of practice becomes even more significant. So your growth and your development, when we play on the weekends, that's our play day, right? That's the time for us to have fun. But if ever there was a time to overemphasize the significance of practice, it's this year. So a lot of the growth, a lot of the mistakes, a lot of the risks, a lot of the mess is going to come at practice. Mm-hmm. So we encourage, and they get frustrated, right? It's not working out. And we're like, it's not supposed to. Before it gets better, it's got to get messier. And so our practices, from the feedback that we've received from the squad, is it's spot on. They're being unbelievably challenged so that when they do compete, they're in a position where things that they're trying to figure out, they've already been tested during the course of the week. It is a condensed, but you know what? If you want to win a national championship, you got to compete in this league. And we're not worried. Like, I know another question is like, what's going on in the spring? Hey, good luck. I'm a realist. I know that Wake Forest can do that. And I know that some other schools can do that, but can a whole Division I do what we're doing?
Yeah. Nobody
has proven that. So I don't know. And I'm not even worried about that. All I'm looking forward to is how much we can grow and learn this year, and use each game as an opportunity for that growth. And we have a tournament. Like, how awesome is that? Mm-hmm. We get to play all of our ACC opponents, just focus on them, that style of play, and then prepare for that tournament. It's awesome. Yeah. Do you guys want to add anything? It's phenomenal.
Good. Well, sort of shifting gears a little bit, I have to bring it up. We had our Deacs Day of Giving 2 weeks ago to the date, and for everybody, that's a 24-hour day span of fundraising to the entire university here at Wake Forest, and we had challenges, sport by sport, and super excited to say field hockey raised a little over $12,000 on just that one giving day, unlocking a $10,000 match that was put out there. Just a phenomenal day of support from our alums and parents and fans and friends of the program. And you guys won out of all the other programs, the other teams and fundraising. So really, really cool thing. And just want to know what that means to you and for the program.
Alan, thank you for giving that shout out, because had that not been brought up, I certainly would have. What does it mean? It means a belief that it's that simple. That means that people are out there and are stretched so incredibly thin financially, and somehow they're still finding a way to show their gratitude and show their belief in this program, that that they understand, they're with us, both emotionally, and financially, but just, for the alums that are just like, yeah, hanging in there, but for sure the parents that are on the call, like, you guys don't have to do this. A lot of times in development, we see it's from the graduates, it's from other people that have been around field hockey, it's from our alums and stuff like that. But the current parents, that's what's, I'm just amazed, because you guys deserve a huge shout out. And the coaching staff made sure that you were recognized immediately that day after at practice. I said, I need you to know that the amount of money that was raised is a direct reflection of your parents. Those parents right now that are currently involved with this program, in addition to others that have graduated recently in the years past. And it's unbelievable. And it helps us kind of like not have to worry about certain things. And but I think it also, it's a reflection to the other programs like, what are you doing? Field hockey likes to compete. And it doesn't matter. It could be a Scrabble game. It could be trivia. It could be a 24-hour giving day. We're going to compete in everything, and we're going to win it.
Yeah, that's why I love being a part of it. It's really fun. And yeah, the parent group, the alums, they're so passionate. And I've just loved getting to know them and just their support behind you and their girls. It's really cool. And so a lot of the questions, to be honest with you, submitted, we're asking how can we help? What else can we do to help? What does the program need? Any priorities moving forward that you feel like sharing at this time?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, we love hearing from you. We love hearing about Trisha. If you're on the call here, sweetheart, like just knowing that you were going to be here this weekend, I can't tell you, how much that just elevated our just happiness. When we found out that you were coming into town, I believe that Julie Adamson was here as well. She may have scaled a gate and broken some laws or whatever, but we love that. She's a risk taker. I love her. And Emily was here, but we always love to hear from people that have been here and asking us questions and just really curious how things are going and just staying attached, because that's pretty much our scorecard, is when you call and you reach out, then we know that we continue to have a relationship. And Mo O'Connor, if you're on the call, love you, sweetheart. The only thing that was missing was, those furry boots. Could have appreciated those. Maybe that was the winning ingredient at Carolina. But certainly just we need to hear more of you, and that keeps us all connected, and that just it raises our funometer. To all the alums that are on here, Mo just told me I had my fuzzy shoes on. I couldn't see them. Darn it. Could have used that. Maybe I needed to wear them. But to all the alums, we love getting text messages and emails from you guys. I know there's going to be a huge group at Seville. Let me know who you are so we can make sure we get you on the pass list, because everything's a pass list this year. And then, this year, it'll be interesting. The NCAA has granted everybody a waiver, so everybody gets a free year. What does that mean? Yeah, everybody gets a free year. My first question is like, who's paying for it? Right? I was like, oh, okay. And it is my desire that if every kid takes this COVID year and wants to come back, every kid on this program right now who wants to come back, I want to create the opportunity to have them come back and play. I want them to stay a part of our program. Why wouldn't I? And so, yeah, they're quality, but that's going to be a huge driver for Alan and I. Alan and I are really gonna have to take a hard look at, what does this mean financially for us moving forward? Because we can't shortcut the kids that we've already committed to prior to COVID, and that's not fair. So we got to get really creative. But here's the thing, like I got the first team All-American in development. He's gonna see a problem and he's gonna come up with solutions, and then the two of us have to get to work and figure out a way to make that happen, to continue these girls' dreams of allowing them to be at a place that they so much are invested in and love being a part of.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for saying that. And yeah, we are certainly facing some different and challenging financial situations with COVID, and but I know we'll get through it, and we have our supporters that want to see us get through it. And for anybody else that has questions about that and how you can get involved and help, please reach out to me anytime. Happy to talk. And so with the
Alan, if I could give a quick shout out.
Absolutely.
Wait, hold on. Gonzo just said she'd offer up her salary to keep one of the kids here.
Ah.
Oh wait, you didn't? Okay, hold on. She was just being funny. The other thing is, I just want to, matching gifts are still a thing. And I had, I hope she doesn't shoot me for saying this, but Lauren Crandall, God bless you. She had her wedding this weekend. It was beautiful. It was in Lake Tahoe. We got to watch it virtually. And sweetheart, we wish we could have been there. We were in spirit. But this is how Crandall, her loyalty and her wanting to help current student athletes right now. She went to her now husband who had a matching gift. Her husband's company matched it times 10. Times 10. And anytime we can reach out to organizations that we're a part of that can do something like that, like, wow, that's a home run right there. And so let's get creative and let's look for ways that, you know, corporations are doing that. And that's a win-win, no question about it.
Yeah.
I know that people are super curious, you know, does this need supersede anything else? You guys know me. I would love to have this playback video board and tower and stuff like that. That's not going to make us play better. My kids are what's going to make us play here. Okay, so we want to make the investment in them, in summer school, in insurances for the kids that can't afford the insurances, and to offset in this first COVID year. I know we're going to have the opportunity to use our discretionary fund so that it's not counted against us for kids that can return and take a fifth year. That's the way it's going to work. So, and everybody knows that this place is uber expensive. So that's going to be a high need for us. And that's where this coaching staff has, without a question, would we like to do all these fun things and go, no, we got to keep our kids. We just want to we want to give Lisha an opportunity to start graduate work here. We want to give Grippo, who maybe isn't in the best job market, going out there and, you know, getting tossed around or whatever. She's a quality kid, and any employer would be grateful to get her. But if she wants another year, I'm going to give her another year. I'm going to find a way. So that's what we're most interested in.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And I love that you use the word investment, because that's what it is. I don't even think of it as a donation. It's an investment into these wonderful young girls and young men here at Wake Forest. And so I appreciate you sharing that. And Coach, we've only got a couple more minutes. I know I want you to get back out. I'm sure you got practice this afternoon, and we got a big game at UVA this weekend, right?
We're at UVA on noon and on Saturday, and at UVA. Bring your umbrellas. Make sure you check in with your daughters. Alumni, if you're going to be there, make sure you check in with me. We'll get you on the pass list. UVA has a little bit more liberal attendance policy. So I'd like to outnumber UVA parents if possible. And that would be fantastic. Apologies to my tailgate crew. We'll get that up and running as soon as it's safe.
Yeah.
Okay. No question about it. Right now we're just tabling that. So you may want to pregame somewhere else. And what else, Alan?
If there's any final thoughts you want to leave with the group, I'll close it out here.
Just on behalf of Gonzo, Jackie, Ashley Wechter, Katie Holman. Hello, Katie Holman, our new trainer. Got to give her some love. I think the kids are trying to stub their toe at practice just so they can hang out with her. So she's come in and filled some big shoes and is really doing a phenomenal job with these kids. When I get an injury report list that's like 1 player, 2 players, I'm pretty happy. We're doing a good job. But just on behalf of the entire athletic department, field hockey specific, thanks to all of you for keeping our dream alive, for allowing us to do what, if we had to spend another couple of months inside our homes, you would have checked us into the loony bin. We love what we're doing. As difficult as it is, it's challenging to us, and we're growing as well. And just know how much we appreciate working with these young women, challenging them, and getting them to accomplish their goals.
I think you said it all there, Coach. So thank you and your staff again for taking this time out today to give everybody an update and spend some time with us. And everybody that joined in the call, thank you so much for listening in and being a part of the Wake Forest family. We certainly appreciate you. I think this is being recorded and we may send it out. So any other questions from everybody, feel free to reach out. But Have a wonderful day, everybody, and go Deacs.